The vast emptiness of space stretched out before the Galactic Council's observation ship. Inside, aliens of various shapes and sizes huddled around screens, their eyes, or equivalent sensory organs, fixed on a small blue planet in the distance. This was Earth, home to a species known as humans. Dr. Zix, the lead scientist, scratched his scaly head with a tentacle. "I don't understand," he muttered. His colleague, Professor Blore, a blob-like creature, oozed closer to look at the data. "What's wrong, Zix?" Blore asked, his voice bubbling with curiosity. Zix pointed at the screen with another tentacle. "Look at this human. According to our calculations, he should be dead." The screen showed a man lying in a hospital bed. His vital signs blinked steadily, defying the alien's expectations. "Impossible," Blorp gurgled. "Our scans show he fell from a great height. The impact should have killed him instantly." Yet there the human was, bruised but very much alive. As they watched, the man opened his eyes and even managed a weak smile at a nurse who entered the room. The aliens' amazement grew as they observed more cases. A woman who survived a terrible car crash, a child who recovered from a deadly disease, an old man who lived through a massive heart attack. "This defies all logical explanation," Six declared, his tentacles waving in agitation. "It's as if humans don't know how to die." Word of these observations spread quickly through the ship. Alien scientists from different departments gathered to share their findings. The excitement was palpable. In the ship's main conference room, a holographic display showed scenes from Earth. Humans climbing mountains, diving into deep oceans, and even jumping out of planes for fun. "Look at them," exclaimed Dr. Quark, an avian alien. "They constantly put themselves in danger. By all accounts, their species should have died out long ago." "Perhaps it's their medical technology," suggested another scientist. But further observation proved this theory wrong. Even in parts of the world with less advanced healthcare, humans showed remarkable resilience. As days turned into weeks, the aliens' confusion only grew. They saw humans survive in extreme temperatures, recover from severe injuries, and outlive their own life expectancy predictions. "We need to report this to the Council," Zix finally said. The others agreed. This discovery was too big to keep secret. In the ship's communication center, Zix prepared to send a message to the Galactic Council. His tentacles trembled slightly as he spoke into the recorder. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Council," he began, "we have made an extraordinary discovery on planet Earth. The dominant species, known as humans, possess an ability that challenges our understanding of biology. They appear to have an unprecedented resilience to death." Zix paused, knowing his next words would shock the Council. "In essence, honored Council members, humans don't seem to know how to die. They survive conditions that would be fatal to any other species we know. We request immediate guidance on how to proceed with this potentially galaxy-changing discovery." As the message was sent across the vast expanse of space, the observation ship buzzed with excitement and apprehension. The aliens knew that their discovery about humans would change everything. The galaxy as they knew it would never be the same. Back on Earth, oblivious to the alien observers, humans went about their daily lives. They laughed, loved, fought, and most importantly, they survived. In hospitals, on streets, in homes, and wild places, humans continued to defy death in ways that would soon shock the entire galactic community. The stage was set for a revelation that would reshape the universe's understanding of life itself. And at the center of it all was a small blue planet called Earth, home to the species that didn't know how to die. The Galactic Council's response was swift. Within days, a team of the galaxy's best researchers arrived at Earth. Their mission was clear: find out why humans seemed unable to die. The team's leader was Dr. Xelna, a tall, blue-skinned alien with 4 arms and eyes that could see through walls. With her were experts in biology, physics, and even what humans called magic. Their ship landed in a remote forest. Thanks to advanced cloaking technology, No humans noticed their arrival. Remember, Dr. Xelna told her team, we must not be seen. Observe only. Do not interact with the humans. The aliens spread out across the planet. They used tiny, invisible drones to watch humans in their daily lives. What they saw amazed them. In a busy city, they watched a human survive being hit by a car. The man stood up, brushed himself off, and walked away with just a few bruises. Impossible, whispered Dr. Gloop, the team's biologist. His gelatinous body quivered with excitement. His bones should be shattered. In a hospital, they saw a woman recover from a disease that would kill any other species in days. Fascinating, muttered Dr. Zapp, the physicist. It's like their cells refused to stop functioning. But it wasn't just physical resilience that surprised them. They watched humans push through mental and emotional challenges too. They saw a student fail an important test, but keep studying harder. They watched a heartbroken lover pick themselves up and find happiness again. They observed elderly humans facing death with courage and peace. Their spirit is as unbreakable as their bodies, noted Dr. Mystica, the expert in non-physical phenomena. As days turned into weeks, the alien team gathered more and more data. They analyzed human DNA, studied their brains, and even examined their souls. Yes, the aliens had technology for that. One day, Dr. Xelna called a meeting in their hidden ship. What have we learned? She asked her team. Dr. Gloop went first. Their biology is unlike anything we've seen. Their cells can repair damage that would be fatal to other species. And their immune system, it's incredibly adaptable. Dr. Zapp nodded in agreement. And it's not just biology. Their physics-defying abilities are astounding. They can survive forces that should, by all accounts, destroy them instantly. Dr. Mystica added her insights. There's something else too. A kind of inner strength. It's not measurable by our usual methods, but it's there. It's like they simply refuse to give up, no matter what. Dr. Xelna listened carefully to all of this. So, what you're saying is, humans don't just not know how to die. Dr. Gloop finished for her. They actively resist death in ways we've never seen before. The implications of this were enormous. If humans ever joined the galactic community, they could change everything. Their resilience could solve problems that had puzzled other species for millennia. But there were concerns too. Some team members worried about what would happen if humans ever became a threat. How do you stop a species that doesn't know how to die? As the meeting ended, Dr. Xelna made a decision. We need to report everything to the Council. They need to know the full extent of human capabilities. The team agreed. They began preparing their report, filling it with all the incredible things they had seen. Meanwhile, all across Earth, humans continued their lives, unaware of the alien eyes upon them. They faced challenges, fell down, got back up. They loved, lost, and loved again. They pushed boundaries and defied expectations. In hospitals, patients fought against impossible odds. In laboratories, scientists worked tirelessly to cure diseases. In homes, people comforted each other through hard times. Every day, in countless ways, humans proved the aliens right. They truly didn't know how to die. Not because they were immortal, but because they never, ever gave up. As the alien ship prepared to leave Earth, Dr. Xelna took one last look at the blue planet. She knew that the galaxy would never be the same once it learned the truth about humans. The investigation was over, but Earth's story in the galactic community was just beginning. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with excitement. Aliens from 1,000 worlds filled the room. They came in all shapes and sizes. Some floated, some crawled. Some didn't even have bodies as we know them. But today, they all shared one thing: curiosity about the humans of Earth. At the center of the hall stood Dr. Xelna. Her blue skin glistened under the bright lights as she prepared to present her team's findings. Esteemed members of the Council, she began, her voice echoing through the hall. We have made a discovery that will change our understanding of life itself. The room fell silent. Even the usually noisy blob beings from Zygon 5 stopped their constant gurgling. Dr. Xelna took a deep breath. The species known as humans, from the planet Earth, possess an ability we've never seen before. They don't know how to die. Gasps and murmurs filled the room. Some aliens laughed, thinking it was a joke. Others looked scared. "Impossible," shouted a tall, spindly alien from the back. Dr. Xelna raised all four of her hands for silence. "Let me explain," she said. She then showed videos from Earth. Humans surviving terrible accidents, recovering from deadly diseases, pushing through unimaginable hardships. "As you can see," Dr. Xelna continued, "humans can survive things that would kill any of us. But it's more than just physical toughness. They have a mental and emotional resilience that defies explanation." She played more videos. A human child learning to walk, falling down again and again, but always getting back up. An old human smiling despite being in a hospital bed. A group of humans rebuilding their home after a natural disaster. "They keep going," Dr. Xelna said, her voice filled with wonder. "No matter what life throws at them, they refuse to give up." The council members watched in amazement. Some of them had tears in their eyes, or whatever passed for eyes in their species. But not everyone was happy. An alien made entirely of crystal stood up. "This is disturbing news," it chimed. "If humans can't die, they could become a threat to us all." Others joined in, voicing their fears. What if humans decided to conquer the galaxy? How could anyone stop a species that didn't know how to die? The hall erupted in argument. Some wanted to immediately destroy Earth to protect themselves. Others wanted to welcome humans and learn from them. Dr. Xelna struggled to be heard over the noise. Finally, the head of the council, a wise old being named Zorb, raised his tentacle for silence. "We must think carefully," Zorb said, his voice deep and calming. "Humans are not immortal. They can die. They just choose not to give up easily. This is not a threat, but a gift." He floated down to stand next to Dr. Xelna. "Think of what we could learn from humans," he continued. "Their resilience could help us solve problems we've struggled with for eons." The council members began to nod slowly. They could see the wisdom in Zorp's words. "But," Zorp added, "we must be cautious. Humans are still a young species. They have much to learn. We cannot rush into contact with them." Dr. Xelna spoke up. "I agree. My team and I believe we should continue to observe humans. Learn more about them before we reveal ourselves." The council voted. The decision was made to keep watching Earth, to learn all they could about these incredible humans. As the meeting ended, Dr. Xelna looked out a window at the stars. Somewhere out there was Earth, a tiny blue marble in the vastness of space. On that planet were billions of humans, each one a miracle of resilience and determination. She smiled to herself. The galaxy would never be the same. And someday, when humans were ready, they would join the galactic community. Dr. Xelna couldn't wait to see what they would achieve. The revelation was just the beginning. The true adventure was yet to come. Years passed since the Galactic Council's decision to observe Earth. The aliens watched as humans continued to amaze them with their resilience and spirit. Finally, the day came when the Council decided it was time for first contact. The chosen location was a small town in the middle of the United States. It was a quiet place, perfect for a controlled meeting. The Council sent their best diplomats, led by Ambassador Zorb, a tall, shimmering being that looked like a living rainbow. As the alien ship descended from the clouds, the townspeople gathered in the main square. Their faces showed a mix of fear, excitement, and disbelief. Mayor Sarah Thompson stepped forward, her hands shaking slightly. She had been chosen to represent humanity in this historic moment. "Stay calm, everyone," she said, though her voice trembled. "Let's show our visitors that humans know how to be good hosts." The ship landed softly in the square. A door opened, and Ambassador Zorb stepped out, followed by his team. The crowd gasped. Some people screamed. A few fainted. Zorb raised his arms in what he hoped was a peaceful gesture. "Greetings, people of Earth," he said, his voice translated by a small device. "We come in peace and friendship." Mayor Thompson took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Welcome to Earth," she said, her voice growing stronger. We're honored to meet you." For a moment, there was silence. Then, from the back of the crowd, a small voice piped up. "Are you gonna eat our brains?" It was little Tommy, age 8, clutching his alien action figure. The crowd held its breath, waiting for the alien's reaction. To everyone's surprise, Zorb laughed. It sounded like tinkling bells. "No, young human," he said kindly. "We don't eat brains. In fact, we're here to learn from you." This broke the tension. People started to relax. Some even laughed. Mayor Thompson smiled and invited the aliens to the town hall for talks. As they walked, humans and aliens side by side, Zorb explained why they had come. He told them about the Galactic Council and how they had been watching Earth. "We've seen your incredible ability to survive, to keep going no matter what," Zorb said. "It's like you don't know how to die. We want to understand this power." Mayor Thompson listened, amazed. "But we do die," she said. "We're not immortal." Zorb nodded. "Yes, but you face death with a courage and resilience we've never seen before. You fight against impossible odds. You never give up. This is a power greater than immortality." As they talked, news of the alien arrival spread around the world. In every country, people reacted differently. Some were scared. Others were excited. Many didn't believe it was real. World leaders scrambled to respond. The United Nations called an emergency meeting. Military forces went on high alert, just in case. Back in the small town, things were going surprisingly well. The aliens and humans were getting along. They shared stories, compared cultures, and even tried each other's food, though the aliens politely declined to try the town's famous extra spicy chili. As the day turned to evening, Mayor Thompson and Ambassador Zorb stood looking at the stars. "Your world is now part of a much bigger community," Zorb said. "Are you ready for that?" Mayor Thompson thought for a moment. "I think we are," she said. "It won't be easy. There will be misunderstandings and problems. But if there's one thing humans are good at, it's facing challenges." Zorb nodded, his rainbow body shimmering in the starlight. "That's exactly why we're here," he said. "Together, there's no challenge we can't overcome." As they stood there, human and alien side by side, both felt the weight of history. This was just the beginning of a new era for Earth and the galaxy. The species that didn't know how to die was about to teach the universe a lesson in living. Weeks had passed since the aliens' arrival on Earth. The initial excitement and fear had settled into a cautious curiosity. Humans and aliens were learning to work together, but not everyone in the galaxy was happy about it. On a distant planet called Zorgox, the Kreks, a warrior race known for their strength and aggression, watched the events on Earth with growing concern. "These humans are too dangerous," growled Supreme Commander Krasruk, his scaly skin turning a deep shade of red. "If they join the Galactic Council, they could upset the balance of power." The Kreks leadership agreed. They decided to issue a challenge to Earth. If humans could prove their worth, they would be accepted. If not, Earth would be isolated from the galactic community forever. Back on Earth, the challenge arrived during a meeting between human leaders and alien ambassadors at the United Nations. Ambassador Zord's rainbow body flickered with worry as he delivered the news. "The Kreks have issued a challenge," he said. "Humans must prove their worth or face isolation." The room erupted in chaos. Some human leaders argued for refusing the challenge. Others saw it as an opportunity to show humanity's strength. In the midst of the argument, a young scientist named Dr. Amelia Chen stood up. "What exactly is this challenge?" she asked. Zorb explained. The challenge had 3 parts: a test of physical endurance, a test of mental prowess, and a test of spiritual strength. Each test would push humans to their limits and beyond. "It's impossible," someone shouted. "No species has ever passed all 3 tests." But Dr. Chen wasn't ready to give up. "That's because no species has ever been like us," she said, her voice firm. "We're the species that doesn't know how to die, remember? We can do this." Her words sparked a fire in the room. One by one, people began to nod in agreement. Humanity had faced impossible odds before. This was just another challenge to overcome. Over the next few days, a team was assembled. Dr. Chen would lead the mental test. Sarah Thompson, the mayor who first welcomed the aliens, volunteered for the spiritual test. For the physical test, they chose Michael Okonkwo, an Olympic athlete known for his incredible endurance. As the team prepared, the whole world watched and waited. In every country, people sent messages of support. Children made good luck cards. Scientists worked around the clock to help the team train. The day before the challenge, the team gathered for a final meeting. The pressure was immense. The fate of Earth's future in the galactic community rested on their shoulders. Michael, the athlete, looked nervous. "What if we fail?" he asked. Sarah, the mayor, put a hand on his shoulder. "Then we'll try again," she said. "That's what humans do." Dr. Chen nodded. "We're not just fighting for ourselves," she added. "We're fighting for every human who's ever faced an impossible challenge and didn't give up." As they spoke, a group of aliens watched from the corner of the room. They had come to know humans well over the past weeks. They had seen their kindness, their creativity, their unbreakable spirit. Ambassador Zorb stepped forward. "We believe in you," he said, his rainbow body glowing brightly. "You've already shown us that humans have a strength unlike any we've seen before." The team looked at each other, feeling a mix of fear and determination. They knew the challenge ahead would be the hardest thing they'd ever faced, but they also knew they wouldn't face it alone. The entire human race was behind them. As the sun set on the eve of the challenge, the team made a promise to each other and to humanity. No matter what happened, they would not give up. They would show the galaxy why humans were the species that didn't know how to die. The challenge was about to begin, and with it, the greatest test humanity had ever faced. The day of the challenge dawned bright and clear. The human team, Michael, Dr. Chen, and Sarah, stood ready. Millions watched from Earth. Billions more across the galaxy tuned in to see if humans could pass the impossible tests. The Kreks arrived in a massive ship that darkened the sky. Supreme Commander Krasruk, all scales and teeth, towered over the humans. "Are you ready to fail?" he growled. Michael stepped forward, his athlete's body tense but ready. "We're ready to try," he said simply. The first test was physical endurance. Michael had to run a race across a changing landscape. Sometimes he ran through deep sand, sometimes over sharp rocks. The air grew thin, then thick with smoke. Still, Michael ran on. Hours passed. Michael's feet bled. His lungs burned, but he didn't stop. He remembered all the humans who had faced impossible odds before him. He thought of runners who had collapsed near finish lines, but crawled to the end. He thought of survivors who had walked days through deserts or jungles to find help. Just when it seemed he couldn't take another step, Michael saw the finish line. With a final burst of energy, he crossed it and collapsed. The Kreks were shocked. No one had ever finished this race before. Next came the mental test. Dr. Chen sat before a complex puzzle that changed every few seconds. She had to solve mathematical equations, decipher alien languages, and predict patterns, all at the same time. Her head pounded, her vision blurred. But Dr. Chen didn't give up. She thought of all the problems humans had solved throughout history. She remembered scientists working through the night to find cures for diseases. She thought of code breakers in wars, working against time to save lives. Just as the final second ticked away, Dr. Chen input the last solution. The puzzle glowed green. She had solved it. The Kreks muttered in disbelief. This human had outthought their best computers. The final test was spiritual strength. Sarah stood before a mirror that showed her worst fears and deepest regrets. She saw wars, disasters, all the ways humans had hurt each other and their planet. Tears streamed down Sarah's face. The pain was almost too much to bear. But then she remembered the human spirit. She thought of people who had forgiven impossible wrongs. She remembered communities coming together after disasters. She saw humans learning from their mistakes and trying to do better. Sarah stood straighter. She faced the mirror and accepted what she saw, but also saw beyond it to the hope and love that humans were capable of. The mirror cracked, then shattered. Sarah stood unbroken. The cracks were silent. Supreme Commander Krasruk's scales had turned pale. "Impossible," he whispered. Ambassador Zorb stepped forward, his rainbow body glowing brightly. "Not impossible," he said. "Simply human." The human team hugged each other, exhausted but triumphant. They had done it. They had proved humanity's worth to the galaxy. As news of their success spread, cheers erupted around the world. Humans danced in the streets. Aliens watching from distant planets nodded in respect. Supreme Commander Krasruk approached the team. For a moment, everyone held their breath. Then, to everyone's surprise, he bowed. "We were wrong about you," he said. "Humans don't know how to die because you know how to truly live. Welcome to the galactic community." The team's victory was more than just passing a test. It was proof of the human spirit, of the strength that comes from facing death, but choosing to live, to try, to hope. As the sun set on this historic day, humanity looked to the stars with new eyes. They had faced their greatest challenge and emerged stronger. The species that didn't know how to die was ready to show the galaxy how to truly live. The days following humanity's victory in the Krex Challenge were filled with celebration and wonder. Earth buzzed with excitement as humans realized they were now part of something much bigger than themselves. In New York City, the United Nations held a special session to discuss Earth's new role in the galactic community. The Great Hall was packed with human leaders and alien ambassadors from across the universe. Michael, Dr. Chen, and Sarah, the heroes of the Krex Challenge, sat in a place of honor. They looked tired but proud. Their victory had changed everything. Secretary General Amina Diallo stepped up to the podium. "Today," she said, her voice strong and clear, "we begin a new chapter in human history. We have proven our worth to the galaxy. Now we must show that we are ready for the responsibilities that come with it." As she spoke, screens around the hall lit up. They showed images from around the world. Children in Tokyo waving at alien visitors, scientists in Nairobi working with floating alien computers, farmers in Iowa learning about crops from distant planets. Ambassador Zorb, his rainbow body shimmering with excitement, took the stage next. "The Galactic Council has seen the strength of humanity," he said. "Your ability to face death, to keep trying against impossible odds, is a gift to the universe. We have much to learn from each other." In the weeks that followed, Earth saw changes beyond anything humans had imagined. Alien technology helped clean the planet's air and oceans. Diseases that once seemed incurable were wiped out. Hunger became a thing of the past as new farming methods produced more food than ever before. But it wasn't just Earth that was changing. Humans were making their mark on the galaxy too. On a distant planet where two alien races had been at war for centuries, human peacekeepers helped broker a truce. The aliens were amazed by the humans' ability to understand both sides and find common ground. In a galaxy-wide science competition, a team of human students surprised everyone with their creative solution to a problem that had puzzled alien scientists for years. Their thinking outside-the-box approach opened up new areas of research. Even the Krex, once so doubtful of humanity, were impressed. Supreme Commander Krasruk invited human athletes to train with Krex warriors. "Your spirit," he said, "makes you stronger than any physical form." But it wasn't all easy. Humans faced new challenges too. They had to learn complex alien languages, understand strange new cultures, and face the vastness of space. There were moments of doubt and fear. But each time, Humans remembered the lesson they had taught the galaxy. They didn't know how to give up. A year after the Crex Challenge, Earth hosted the first Galactic Cultural Festival. Aliens from 1,000 worlds came to share their art, music, and stories. The streets of every major city were filled with sights and sounds never before seen on Earth. As the festival reached its peak, Dr. Chen, Michael, and Sarah stood on a hill overlooking New York City. The sky was filled with alien ships, the streets with beings of all shapes and sizes. "Did you ever imagine this?" Michael asked, shaking his head in wonder. Dr. Chen smiled. "In my wildest dreams, maybe. But this is beyond even that." Sarah nodded. "We've come so far," she said. "But it's only the beginning." They looked up at the stars, knowing that each point of light might be a new adventure, a new challenge to overcome. As night fell, fireworks lit up the sky, a celebration of humanity's new place in the universe. The species that didn't know how to die had shown the galaxy how to truly live, and their greatest adventures were still to come. The future stretched out before them, as vast and full of possibility as the universe itself.